What's the worst part about November? All the foul weather. What's going on, YouTube? Shout out to everybody here at the Golden Vendor area at our very first one, which is inside the Hollow City, inside of Cold Harbor, over here on this part of the map. The reason we go over the luxury furnishing vendor is because there could be items here that are either good for you to use or have good resale value. Now, last week was very Halloween themed. This is the first week in November, so you can see the Halloween decorations are starting to have more fall themes. For example, this tree is coming out of a corpse, but it's got fall leaves coming out of it. Same with this one here. And we also have a archway made out of twigs, a totem made out of twigs, Berkmeyer trees, which actually are pretty cool. Some dude who's had his soul removed out of him, and I can't even make these jokes. Unfortunately, these guys are great for Halloween contests. So, I mean, in theory, if you want to wait a full year, you probably could sell these next year for like 70,000 gold on console, maybe a little more on PC, but you're going to have to wait. The only other items here that I think might have any sort of resale value would be this Briarheart tree, just because it's a very beautiful tree, but 100,000 gold is a huge investment. Maybe just go for the bone sconce. If you're ever curious at 8 p.m. if you get there too early to the second golden vendor, well, you can actually watch a laborer set it up for you. So while they're doing that, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe. We do super fast YouTube intros. That way you can like and subscribe without having to listen to me ramble about a whole bunch of hoopla, because the golden vendor is here. And now it's time to review the golden vendor, where we start with a bark skin, which I believe comes from Eden Hollow 2. Reduce the duration of immobilizations and snares applied to you by 50%. When an immobilization or snare is applied, you heal for 2,092 health and restore some stamina. This can occur once every 5 seconds. This set feels like it's on the cusp of being a great PvP set, but unfortunately, it's not. And I did say last week we would do a 1 through 10 tier list. We're going to start trying that out so that way I can rank things. So super quick intros to what that's going to look like. 5 is bang average. What is average? Average means it's about as if you were just put on random pieces of gear that you got in the overworld. It's not doing anything for you, but it's also not detrimentally hurting you either. And then 10 out of 10 is there's literally nothing better than it. We will also use decimal points as needed. This set is like a 6, maybe like even a 5.8, where it's almost to the, better than average. We're almost from average to slightly, above mediocre. But unfortunately, that's where the set's going to sit. Next up, we have Dreamers, which is another base game overland set. Now, to also explain our tier list, it is a number ranking that's based on the type of content that it's best at. So Barkskin is a PvP set, realistically. I don't really know what the Dreamers necklace would be used for. Not really a tanking set. Maybe for sustain, but I guess you could throw it into a lump sum of PvP again. From that aspect, it's probably a 5.1. I mean, it's better than wearing random gear that you got while you're walking around, but if you were walking around in a DLC zone, the random gear that you're putting on arguably could on average be better than this set. Maybe I should drop it to a 4.9. However, a set that is not a 4.9 is Hexo's Ward, being added in the Fargrave DLC. Dealing direct critical damage grants you a damage shield that absorbs 7,075 damage for 6 seconds. This is probably one of the most popular Infinite Archive sets. People will use this for PvP. People have used this for solo content just in general. Hexo's Ward is very versatile. Now, because it's used for such a wide range of content, it's hard to tier it because, its tier list on a PvP is probably lower. It's probably more of like a 7.8. But if you want to use an Infinite Archive build with Hexo's Ward, it's probably like an 8.2. I know that these are very arbitrary numbers, but Hexo's Ward is a fantastic set. I don't know if it would rise to the level of an S tier set, but I definitely think that it comfortably sits into where the A tier would be. So in the 8s for solo content, or Infinite Archive content, in the high 7s for PvP content. Next up, we have Undaunted Bastion. When you use a taunt ability while you are under 75% health, you gain a damage shield for 6 seconds. This can occur once every 10 seconds. So you may notice why this set is immediately bad, because if You wanted a damage shield that's 7,000, you would just have to deal critical damage. If you wanted to get this arbitrary heal over a period of time, you would have to do a taunt, and then you would have to do it while below 75% health. So you can see, even from a tanking perspective, some of the Infinite Archive sets are already outpacing it. This set is, I would say, a 6. It's not average, because if you're trying to tank, chances are, if you just put on average gear, you'll probably get ham-fisted. And this is still giving you a bit of oomph. At least it is thematic to tanking, but there's just so many better tanking sets out there. I mean, this is meh at best. Next up is Balorghs. Now, Balorghs is probably one of, if not the most sought after PvP monster sets in the game. Some people will also use this for solo content, because a lot of times using ultimate, you're getting a ton of physical and spell penetration, weapon and spell damage. You get tons of that too. I don't necessarily think that this outpaces a lot of the mythics that are used, but if you don't have access to mythics, bada bing, bada boom, this is probably one of the best things that you could get, because guess what? You're going to be ulting all the time. But in PvP, you're going to be ulting all the time. I don't know what my criteria is going to be for a 10, but I think this Balorghs it's a 10 out of 10 set. It has been relevant for, 5 years now? How many monster sets can you name that have been relevant for PvP consistently for that period of time? And how many can you name that are going to continue to be relevant for that period of time? Not many. Many will be nerfed, but Balorghs has just stood the test of time as one that's not gotten nerfed, and I don't think it will be anytime soon. Therefore, it's a 10 out of 10, easy recommendation, and staple for the type of content that it's used for. It's mostly used for burst builds, Nightblades especially, but you can also use this on pretty much anything that deals burst damage. In fact, you could use this on a Sorcerer, use it on a Templar, use it on a Dragon Knight, you can use it on a Ward, a Necromancer. Anything can deal burst damage, and Balorghs is the staple of that burst damage. And usually I don't recommend getting helmets, but this is probably one of the worst dungeons to queue for as a random without, friends queuing with you. So this is an easy spend 100,000 gold, save yourself your brain cells, save yourself from smacking your head against the wall, and just buy it. Next up from Wayrest Sewers, we have a Menace from back in the day. When you take damage, you have a 10% chance to tether your enemy for 6 seconds as long as you're made within 8 meters of them. While tethered, you deal some magic damage, and you heal for the damage caused and gain major vitality, increasing your healing received and damage shield strength by 12%. This set used to be a menace back in the day, back when PvP was first released, because you could create infinite block tanks that were just ridiculously annoying to have to crank through. These days, unfortunately, it just suffers from power creep. You can still use this and gain some benefit from it if you wanted to bring this to open world Cyrodiil. It's certainly better than average, so I would say give this a 6.3. It's nowhere near the good category, which I would say is 7, good 7, great 8, excellent 9, perfect 10. We're at the above meh, the 6 category, but overall, I would say this is an easy skip, especially when you're comparing it to Balorghs. And I mean, some of the other ones here, you have Hexo's Ward. Hexo's Ward is one of the greatest, most dependable sets that you could have ever since its release a few years ago. So definitely some great pickups this week. Let me know what you guys think of the numbering system, because it is new and it's definitely flexible. I figure 5 is just a good baseline, because it's, using decimal points. Obviously, we'll have to figure out maybe what the names and titles of each one should be, and if there should be a huge reservation for giving things a 10 out of 10, because it's the first week we're piloting it. So let me know in the comments below, because I'm definitely open to maybe even creating a cheat sheet of what is a 10, what's a 5, what's a 1. Vampire Lord is a 1, by the way, spoiler. There are sets that can go below average. But everyone, thank you guys so much again for watching. And as always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do to enter is leave a comment in the comments below. Do you like the numbering system? What do you think of it? Would you like to see a little cheat sheet graph when I do these videos? That way you get an idea. Would you like this to be extended to Tuesday vendor stuff? Do you want it to be extended to furnishing items? Do you guys just like ratings out of 10? That way it gives you an idea when people say the words good. What does good mean? How good? Is it goodly good, or mediocrely good, or badly good, Second thing is just make sure you subscribe / follow on Twitch and Twitter. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers, a huge milestone. And the third thing, look for a hidden word to be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to comment that word below, you will win. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.